Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this next edition of the Colourful Crafters May 2025 live edition. Tonight, we're going to share a lot of the kits, or at least 3 of the kits, to explain to you what they actually are all about. I am going to take one of the card kits and explain how they work and what's included. Elizabeth is going to take another card kit, but as far as I know, isn't going to make cards. And Caroline's going to do a completely different kit that you may or may have not seen in the catalogue, but it's certainly worth investigating. So I'll just say good evening and I'll hand over to Elizabeth.
Caroline. Oh no, you. You're first. Okay, over to me. Right. So I am going to be sharing with you tonight the By My Side kit. It retails at £21 and it makes 8 cards. But you can make endless possibilities with this kit. So I'm just going to turn my camera and I hope that you can see my screen. Okay, so this is what a kit looks like. It comes in a box and you get a set of instructions, detailed instructions of how to make your cards. You get your stamps, which obviously you keep these for life. You get your ink. You get a block. Don't know if you can see that in there. You get a block to stamp with. And I've already used quite a lot of the little bits and pieces. You get some square pieces and round circles, dimensionals. You get 12 of these. I've used quite a bit already. You get 4 of these and they've got little hearts in the corner. Then you get the most adorable dogs and cats. And that's why it's called By Your Side, because animals are always by your side. They really are a man's and a woman's best friend. You get beautiful coordinating envelopes. And I will show you the cards that they create. Just pop these back in the box. I may need that in a little bit. I'll definitely need my dimensionals. So pop these back, keep that out. So that's what you get in your kit. They're so portable. It really is lovely to travel with a kit and carry on being creative and crafty. So here is a card that I've made purely from the kit. Here's to a true friend. And another one, I'll always be by your side. And some dog ones. I have to say, dogs are my love, best friends forever. And you make my heart happy. So you can create these cards with the kit and you can make 8 cards. But what happens when you run out of the kit? So I have been putting some scrapbook materials together. So these are some hearts that I have just punched out of, not punched out, just got out of there. And this is my gorgeous, gorgeous Horatio. Unfortunately, we lost him last October, but it's wonderful to make memories of him. So I've just got a 12 by 12 piece of white paper and I've stamped with the ink that they give with you and the paw that comes with your stamp set. Just some paws all around. And then I've ripped some cardstock because I like that texture. So I have added a little bit more than just the kit. So I'm going to glue this down and take it from here. So let's just glue this down. I cut this at approximately 8 centimeters, and then I scored it. I didn't cut it. I scored it so that I could rip it and have that really lovely effect. So there we go. Then I chose a card base. So ordinarily you would fold this over and this would be a card base. But I wanted to use it as a template to showcase my Horatio. So I'm going to put this on first. I'm just going to glue it again. And position it about there. Then I'm going to take the next card base, just working out which looks the most aesthetically pleasing. And I'm just going to glue that on there. I want to be able to see my paws. Then I have taken these, which you get 12 of, and I want to put these on dimensionals because I really want them to stand out. So here's to a true friend. Now, Horatio was absolutely the best friend that I've ever had. Loyal, faithful, obedient, and I miss him terribly. So here's to a true friend. Then I'm going to get my, as I affectionately call him, Reishi. I'm going to get Raish and offset him a little bit. And another picture of Raish and offset him a little bit. This is when he's really happy. And again, I'll always be by your side. I'll always be by his side. So let me just glue Horatio. It made me very sentimental just working out this scrapbooking kit, looking at his pictures again. It feels a lifetime ago since we lost him, but also it feels like yesterday. So I'll always be by your side, Horatio. I'm going to put that there on dimensionals. It's lovely that they give you a full pack of dimensionals in the kit. And then here, best friends forever. Because we are. Just because he's passed away, it doesn't mean to say that we're still not best friends. So I'm just going to stick that there. So how to transform a white piece of paper using everything that you've got in your kit apart from the photographs. So let me come to the next layout. It's pretty similar. Just put those up there. Pretty similar. I've got some paper here that's crumb cake, and I cut this Cajun craze into 8 centimeter pieces. And again, I'm just going to glue it down. I don't use that much glue because it always sticks. And another one. And isn't scrapbooking a lovely way of preserving so many special, special memories? It just brings them alive. So this again, the same sort of idea, because I don't want to overcomplicate things. I want Horatio to be the star of the show. So again, I'm taking a card base. That would be your card base. I'm just going to stick it down. Want to see those paws. That's it. And then another card base. Uh, Best friends forever. Now that needs to go on dimensionals. So I've just stamped that with the old olive ink that comes with the kit, and also the bone. So we've got cat paws and we've got dog paws, and we've got fish for cats and bones for dogs. But I've used the bones on here. I'm just going to, I should have probably, no, don't put that on now. Let's put the pictures on first. So there's my Horatio. Handsome chap, even if I say it myself. There he goes. And another one. I always think it's best using black and white pictures, because then it doesn't really matter what colours you're using. And here, so I'm going to pop that on at the top, which is best friends forever. And also, you make my heart happy. And then the little hearts that I've popped out of here, I'm just going to use my take a pick and pick them up, put a little bit of glue was a bit too much glue, but never mind. You make my heart happy. This take a pick with the putty end is a lifesaver. Oop, although it's got stuck. Twiddle it round, that's it. And then now this one's dried, my white piece, I'm going to turn it over because you can, obviously, in scrapbooking. And this time I am going to take my torn pieces of paper and put them in a different direction. This is petal pink, by the way. I'm just gonna, come on, quickly glue them down. Petal pink. And I'm going to use the envelopes because they coordinate beautifully, and I'm only going to stick this bit down so that I can put my memories of Horatio inside these pockets. So before I go any further, I've only got 2 minutes left. I'm just going to quickly stamp, pour on there, and stamp a pour on there. Then I'll stamp my paws all the way round. Horatio is going to go there and there. I'm going to have another I'll always be by your side, and here I'm going to put on dimensionals, and I'm going to stamp in black best friends forever. Just because I think it's going to stand out more than the old olive. But you can just use what is in your kit. And then I will decorate the rest with paws and sentiments. So there are lots of ways of using kits, and I haven't even started with the gold hearts. I also just briefly wanted to show you that once your kit is finished, you can carry on stamping with the stamps that are provided and make little gift boxes with cat treats. Here we've got fishes and cat paws. I have also made a little bookmark. I'll always be by your side. And that's a nice little thing. So just be creative with your kit. You're not restricted with making your cards because your stamps are going to stay with you and your ink spot forever. So utilize them to the best of your ability and be creative. There are no wrongs, just wonderful creations, which I totally believe that anybody can do. All right, well, my time is up. Oh, I was going to add to this one, obviously, a little dog. That was Horatio's favourite position because he loved to play bow. But I can carry on with this and add more and add more and add more. But I want him to be the star of the show. So thank you very much for watching. I hope it's given you some inspiration. Just remember to think outside the box. Okay, I am now going to pass over to Louise and enjoy. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Very much.
Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Louise Daniels from Lou's Colourful Crafts, and I'd love to share with you a completely different kit this evening. I'm using the kit called Welcoming Garden, and I'm going to turn around my camera so you can actually see what I'm creating this evening. This is the Welcoming Kit, Garden Kit, and the Welcoming Garden Kit comes with enough to make 3 of each of these wonderful cards. And tonight I was going to do a little bit more like Elizabeth and expand on them, but once I started playing, they're one of the most intricate card kits I think I've ever found. And one says thanks, one says just a note, and one says hello. You can see they're all floral, but without further ado, I'll pop those to one side and I'll explain what actually I mean by a kit, because if you don't know, they come in these amazing, quite funky, very strong cardboard boxes. Stamping up, inspire, create and share, and that's all that we're about. And in here, I always love the fact that we have the most gorgeous envelopes. So there's 9 of those. It then comes with everything you could possibly need. Ephemera cuts, ink spots, this one is in crumb cake, stamps that, like Elizabeth says, they're yours forever and a day, dimensionals, this one has tear and tape, double-sided tape, of course the block, and so it carries on. Now the interesting thing is, in the instructions, I think these are brilliant because they actually do literally spell it out. So we have the 3 cards, 1, 2 and 3, and the first thing you find when you open it up is you need to be on this page here, and no you don't, Louise, you've lost a page, hang on a moment, I've opened it on the wrong bit, here we go, that's where I was trying to be. So for number 1, which is the one we'll do first, it tells you exactly which pieces to bring out. So I'll pop all these bits over here out of my way. I'm going to need this bit here. I need some little pink flowers, 2 of, and they all just pop out. 2 more little pink flowers, that one, that one. I don't need any of the rest of that, so I'll pop those over there. I need to have a little ferret about in my box, and I'm going to bring out one of these little pieces here. I don't need anything from that one, don't need anything from that one. I'll keep going down, there's more and more in here. Oh look, I do need this one, that's the one that matches here. And do I need anything else? Oh, I'm looking for a birdhouse. Let's go rooting around, because I swear to goodness every time I touch one of these it disappears and something comes out somewhere else. Where's my birdhouse? I'll find him in a minute. Right, and then you move on a step, because so once you've worked out which pieces you actually need, which are here, you then open your instructions up. There's no writing, so it doesn't matter if you don't speak in English or you've got a younger person with you. and it's telling you need your crumb cake ink spot, like so, and you're going to open this up and you're going to get the stamp that says thanks. Now obviously you could use any stamp. The only thing that I normally do that's different with these kits is I actually bring in my own D block. I just find them easier to use. They're slightly thicker. As I've showed you before, if you pop your block down, you can pick him up, you don't get a wiggle. Now with the ink spots, again, I find it easier to take my ink to my stamp. Now I've already used this. If it's your first time and it's a brand new kit to you, I would ink your stamp and stamp it 2 or 3 times on a scrap. So I'm just going to stamp the word thanks in there, like so. Now, so there's one piece. And the other bit that threw me completely for a little while, so I pop that back on my little bit of here, you've actually got a fence post. So again, drop him down on the glass mat, pick him up, turn him over, and if you look, it's pointing very cleverly to the fence posts. And what we need to do is to bring in this ink, and we're going to tap, 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 tap. And all of these fit onto these uprights. Can you see? And what you're doing is adding the wood grain. And I just think that's so much fun. And even you can see that, I think, from my camera. If you haven't found this kit, they are available in the kit collection online. You need to go to any one of our Stampin' Up stores and find the kit collection button. Click on it and you'll see a whole lot of selection of them. And this one retails at £22. And don't forget now, with the rewards, that will get you a £2.20 voucher ready to spend on the next one. I think it's really good fun. And as I say, you could change the sentiment to be a birthday or a with love or just a note. And so you carry on. And I decided I was going to actually just show you how to make one, because I don't think I'm going to have time to make all 3. They are quite fiddly, but they're very, very interesting. So if you've got somebody who is a card maker, who enjoys a bit of crafting, and you're thinking, not sure about kits, think they're going to be a bit simple, believe me, there's nothing simple about this one. It's doable. It's certainly achievable, but it's not going to be so simple that they'll be bored within 2 minutes. And close my ink up. So I've done this part. So I've stamped my gate. I'm folding my gate round carefully here to close over the front. I'll bring my bone folder in and just make sure we've got a really nice crisp fold and my gate's not trying to leg it off. And then you're going to use the included dimensionals, and as Elizabeth said, take a pick, and you're going to pop one of these on the back of the flowers, like so. And like so. Oh, got me. The only downside, I've started having my nails done, and you can see what's going to happen. I'm not going to do them all, because otherwise we won't get to see any of the others. These just add a little bit of 3D. The other way, of course, you can do it is to just put the dimensional straight onto the card, like so. Pick it off, pop him on. Pop him off. I think that's probably quicker, actually. Like so. Hook him off. There we go. Pick him up with the putty end, pop him on. And there is a little birdhouse that goes on there. And then we just need a couple of these on the back of the sentiment that's just going to go on the gate. And then it's going to be just in the front of the card there. Okay, so that's the first one. It just says thanks, and it opens up like so, and then there's a space inside for you to write on. And I think that's really very pretty. So the second one, if we come back to our instructions, so we need to find, remember we go right the way back to the beginning, and we're going to have a go at doing number 2. So I need to find all these orange flowers and pop them out. I think this is a bit like doing it against the clock here. Pop them all out. And you do need all of these orange ones per card. You also need this big green leafy thing here, bush. Push out the bush very carefully because obviously it is quite fragile. It is pretty strong paper, but it is paper. There we go. So I've got that one. I've got that one. I'm going to, this is the symbol for the tape, the crumb cake ink. And I need this thing here, which I believe is a gate. And I need another card base without any flowers on it, a blank one, like so. And I need a little piece of white card, like so. Oh, I haven't brought a gate to the party. Hang on, let's find a gate. I think I've lost the gates. Just a moment. Where have they gone? There he is. Oh, look, there's the missing birdhouse. I'll just pop the birdhouse on the other one so I don't forget it. Just stick a little gem. I'll show you where he goes. And, oh, he's going to go on here to make him a little bit more 3D. More like decoupage. Okay. Now, what we're doing here is we're going to pop out the gate. And we don't need any of those pieces there for the next one. And the first thing, so you've got all your pieces, you've ticked off all of that. You're going to go back into your instructions and find card number 2. And we're going to start, as it says, with a ink spot, the long stripy thing, wood effect, and we're going to stamp. And I thought this was really clever too. Add your ink, off we go. And we're going to stamp, if you can see, we're going to stamp across from the other side, and down from the bottom. Okay, move that one out of the way. Oh, I've just found there's another piece I haven't found. That's the trouble. It's a bit like a treasure hunt, trying to remember what pieces you're supposed to have and where they actually all are. You can bet your bot, oh, there it is. I need one of these. Another little sign. And this little sign is going to say, just a note. They're really nice sentiments here. We've just got a simple thank you, a simple just a note, which doesn't seem to want to stick to my block tonight at all. There we go. Just a note. There we go. And then it's quite interesting. So I've done the stamping, put that out the way. That's those 2 pieces. Number 2, I need to get my pairing tape. And I'm going to place some across the back. Now, when I do this, everybody does it in a different way, but I tend to overestimate a little bit. Don't push it down and stick it to the board or anything else that you're working on, particularly if you're on grid paper. It's just find it easier. So I'm not worrying about whether or not I've got the right amount. And then I just bring my snips in, and I do if I've not buried them. Just snip off the excess. Like so. And then my trusty take a pick helps you peel them off too. Big shout out to, I think it was Lorraine that showed me this for the first time. I've only spent ages, and I certainly can't do it now I've got nails. It's so quick to get the little bits off the back. And there we go. And then this is going to go, fold my card across. It's going to go on the front like so. And then this is where it gets very clever. I'll just move this out of the way. You're going to use a bit of tear and tape to stick this green piece down first. Again, I find it so useful just to not worry too much about whether or not I've got enough or too little or whatever. Just snip him off. There we go. And I've lost it. We take a pick, develop legs. No, it hasn't. There it is. It's easy. Just pick him up straight off. Now this is clever because you only need, you might be thinking, oh crikey, what about the leaves? Well, you're going to put that at the bottom about there, and then your gate, you're going to put some dimensionals on the bottom of this piece here, the bottom of the gate. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3. Pick those off. And the gate then goes, this is where I think it's really clever. The gate hides up the base, and then you just very gently, I use the take a pick again, I tell you I use it for everything. You just entwine your gate with the leaves. And once you've got some leaves through, she says, once you've got your leaves through, carefully does it. There's probably easier ways of doing it than this. I just found this was quite simple. Make sure your gate is on straight because mine seems to have fallen down the hill a moment. There we go. Bring a piece through there. You see, you can just poke it about a bit and in they go. And then you're still wondering, well, hang on a minute, because that's all flapping in the breeze here. What you do is you bring in the wonderful dimensionals and you start adding some flowers to your gate. Okay, so you're using the dimensionals in 2 ways. You're using it to hold the gate down in place, but allowing it to become decorative. Can you see that? I just think that is such a clever idea. I'm not sure whether that's exactly what they intended when whoever designed this. I still think it's a pretty kit, but it's so simple to do, and then it just looks a bit more real because your leaves are a little bit more loose. I'm going to pop this one on next, and then I'm afraid I haven't got time tonight to share with you the 3rd card. So you can see these kits really are good value. I mean, I've been crafting solidly for 20 minutes and I knew how it went together. It certainly is an hour's project. They're great gifts, our kits. If you know somebody who's, you know, a little bit crafty, might enjoy this type of thing, why not buy one for their next birthday and get them hooked? They're great fun for team games. They're great fun for all sorts of everything, really. I'm just going to finish this one and then we'll hand over to Caroline, who's got an amazing kit to share with us this evening. I can't wait to see how it's created because I don't know. I've not had a go with it at all. And I think it's going to be an awful lot of fun. I'll just finish decorating my gate with its flowers. And I hope you've enjoyed watching these tonight. As I say, I will post a picture on my Facebook page tomorrow of the finished cards. And if you want a link as to how you can purchase one of these kits, if you've a mind to. Where we're going to put some more. Oh, I don't know. I think we'll have another lot over here. And you obviously could add your own embellishments. You could add some gems to it if you wished. And again, you could have any sentiment you like on the front. So there we go. Thank you ever so much for watching. And I'll just finish that one. Bring the second one in so you can see the 2 cards that I did manage to make tonight. Like so. And without further, and this is the one. I'll probably do it live because it's got a lovely little gate. And you see it's a card that's landscape shape. and it has a lovely little gate with some beautiful bouquets behind it. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I'm going to switch over to Caroline and leave you for now. So good night.
Good evening, everybody. What fantastic kits were they? That flower garden one is definitely going in my basket because it looks fabulous. So tonight I will be showing you how to make the paper floral kit, and here are some of the examples of the flowers that go in it. Everything comes in the kit. So it's a Blue Peter moment. Here's one I made earlier. So we will drop down onto my as a camera, just flick of a switch and hopefully everything connects. Where's it gone? What's going on? I think it went to sleep. Let's hope that they'll just come back to me while it's thinking about doing that. We'll just see what's going on there. I'll start showing you the this is what the kit looks like. It comes in the box. I've actually decanted everything out of my box because I needed to crack on with the press a few buttons on my phone. We had new internet. I think that's what's been playing me up. Let's see if that now works. Oh, flipping heck, it was working earlier on. Let's just press some more buttons and see if that's done the trick. Otherwise, I will show you what I've been doing on my other camera. So we shall do it this way round. Technology at its best, hey? Right, so as you've seen, we get the list of instructions in the kit. And there are 7 flowers in this kit, and each one has its own bits and bobs of the requirement that you need. Okay. Just seeing if I can do any more with this. Oh, it's messing me about. It worked there before. We'll carry on. Right, okay. So when I started to look at this kit, I was like, oh, okay, let's see how to do this. And it's all visual instructions. But I did spot this QR code down at the bottom. So I did that, and our very own Sarah, our CEO of Stamping Up, demonstrates how to make the kit. So it's absolutely wonderful. She speeds up in bits because once you know how to make the flower, it's the same process for each one. But I shall show you what we get in the kit. We have a pack of wires for each flower. We have a little pack of beads that form the centre of the flower. We get the push out tissue paper of the flowers. So I left that one in so you could see how they just push out of the tissue paper. It's quite delicate, so you can't rush at it. I'll just pop that one to one side. And then in the middle, you have either a black centre, which I'll show you what we do with in a moment, or a yellow one. And I'll show you that when we come to start making it. With this kit, you will need a glue gun. So prepare yourself for getting very sticky with lots of gluey strings here and there and everywhere. So we've also got leaves, foliage for our decoration. So I thought I'll ease ourselves in gently and we will have a look at the leaves. Okay, so we've got 3 different sorts of leaves. A bit like an oak leaf, that one. So the first thing that you do is you have a crease in them and you just gently squeeze them so they're not dead flat. You're just squeezing the leaves like that, just to give it a little bit of 3D, where you can see the shadows on that one. Okay, so the long leaf, this is like crepe paper. You just give that a little bit of a fold like that from the middle, like that, just to give it a bit of shape. And similarly with the oak leaf one, there's a little crease down the back of it, so you fold it over and around just to give, like I said before, a little bit of 3D effect like that. And we just fold that like that. So then get our wire out of our kit. So we've got that ready in our hand. We've got the leaf ready on hand, and then the hot glue gun has been on, so it's hot and ready to go. So I'll just unwrap it from around my legs. So you're going to put a line of glue on like that on that crease, squeezing your glue. You will get messy. It is messy, but it's great fun. A line along the back of the leaf like that. And you get your wire. There you go. Place your wire on the back of the leaf like that. That's going to be the back, so you won't see it. Okay, so that's one of the leaf types done, and there are 1, 2, 3, 5 of the same leaves. I'm not going to do all 5 of them because that wouldn't be very exciting, would it? So that's another of the long pointy leaf. So next piece of wire, we'll do this piece of foliage. We're going to stick that on the back so it kind of curves towards the front, and we've got our little crease. Glue gun again, get ready for gluey strings. So just along, where's the camera gone? It's so infuriating with not having the top camera. Along the back of the leaf, like so. You can see the glue on the back of the middle one, like that. Put that on the back, like that. And it's obviously being careful, health and safety, because the glue is hot, hence the name, hot glue gun. We put that back that, and you won't see that because that is the front. It's curving slightly towards you. Okay, so that's the other sort of leaf we've got. I think we've 3 of those in total. So next one, next piece of wire, next leaf, it's going to be glued down that back of that middle leaf, and like that, minding your fingers because it is hot, and going to place that on the back there. Just hold it in place while the glue is setting, and that is the beauty of the hot glue gun, to set very quickly. So there we go, we've got the oak leaf look leaf done, and there are 3 of those in total in the pack. I'm just going to have another little look at my phone and see what's going on. See if we cannot get the, oh, I've got to do my face, it won't work. But have another look just to see if it sorted itself out. No, it's not doing it, so we're back at me. Such fun. So we go on. The show must go on. Right, so we are on to the flowers. So we have, we're going to do the yellow flower. We have 3 bits of tissue paper that we've pushed out of the set that came. We are going to have a middle piece, which will be the middle of the flower, and we have the black bead, or it's actually dark blue, but we've got some yellow ones as well. Because we're using the black middle, we'll be using the dark bead so that it just blends away and you can't really see it. So this is when you get your wire, and you're going to twist it over the top like that, so it's like a hook. And pop your bead on the end of the hook. Then your bead is facing upwards like that, and then you twist the wire round so it can't come off very easily. It sits at top. When we do the next stage, you'll see that the paper holds it up like that. Okay, so it's the wire's not very strong, as in it doesn't take a big amount of effort to twist it. So if you've got tricky wrists, it's not too bad. You can still crack on with it. So glue gun, this is messy. Put glue onto your bead. Yes, you will get glue strings. Then you get your piece of, looks like crocodile's teeth, doesn't it? Then stick that onto your bead like that. You will get messy, and then you're going to wrap it around the bead. Now I'm just going to turn it slightly so that the paper is that way on. Hot glue gun, I'm just going to put a little bit of a row of glue. It will get messy. Wrap it round, and you keep going with this, being careful because obviously it's hot. You're wrapping it round and keep on going. Put this, that's probably a wrap and a half here. So we glue it on like that, and just wrap that final bit round the bead. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to let that just sort of settle down because it is quite stringy, and let it set while we do the next little bit to the flower. Okay, so put that down where it's not going to stick to everything. We still need the hot glue gun. I did try doing this with Tombow because I thought, oh, hot glue gun. No, use your hot glue gun. So each petal, we're going to get our bone folder. Yeah, and if you like curling ribbons, you're in for a treat. So basically, you're curling ribbons. Okay. On the instructions, it does say use a pen. I tried that and it didn't work, but a bone folder does it perfectly. So what you need is a nice sort of tight flower for the middle petals, and then the next one, this is only the way I've decided to do it, so the next one is not quite so curled, so you do those three like that, and then the last one even less curled, because then you can get them all arranged in the right order. So it's just curling like that. Okay, and then you have a little green bit, she says. It's disappeared because it's on a green thing, so it's camouflaged. So looks like a bit like the top of a strawberry. I like to kind of just curl it downwards, so it's like the bottom of the flower, and it kind of, when the flower opens up, this kind of curls back downwards. So okay, then we're going to have another sticky bit. So we get our bead and our black top bit, glue gun, and then we're going to put, I'm holding it upside down now, we're going to put glue on there like that. Put it down. Then you get your middle petal and you're going to thread it down your wire to the center. You can see you've got your first petals on your flower. A little bit more glue, like that, just round where the petal is. You can give it a twizzle just to get it around the wire. You're feeling Right. By the time you finish this project, you will be an expert on using a glue gun. Next petal, which isn't curled quite so much, we drop down and try and angle it so that it's not straight on top of the other petals, so that there's it fills in like the gaps between the petals. So that's how it would be, obviously, on a real flower. And then a little bit more glue. When I learnt a top tip for loose glue guns, just popped up in my Facebook. I'll show you that in a moment. So you've got your last set of petals, which is the ones that are the least curled. Drop that down, and again try to get it where the gaps are in the petals, and then you've got a lovely rounded. See how that's all coming together? If you think it's still, you want to shave the middle bit off, you can just sort of pull them back a bit and fiddle around with them. Just going to pop that down and show you this glue gun trick. You've got your refill glue gun. So you get your glue gun glue from the glue stick that's in there already. Push in, so your glue comes out onto the end of your glue stick, and you should get enough glue, and then you can stick it in the back, and it should stick to the existing glue that's in there, and then there should be smooth passage through the next amount of glue. So the final piece of this flower is round again we go with the glue, and it twizzled my petals at the same time, so I'm just going to twizzle them like that. And then you've got your green bit. Well, I like my green bits to stick up like that when it goes onto the flower, because it looks like it's opened up from the flower. So you're just going to put that on top of the wire, drop it down onto the flower, just give it a moment, so get rid of all your glue strings like that to give it a tidy up. And there we go, we have one flower made from the floral bouquet kit. Now the process is exactly the same for all of the flowers. It's just use different colours, different sizes. There's some little pink ones there that make these lovely little, and they've got a yellow centre. So you use a yellow bead with the yellow crocodile's teeth, as I'm going to call them. Same principle with the wire and the hot glue gun. You just take your time, don't rush it, because you will get even more sticky mess trying to do that. And then when you've got all of your flowers all together, I'll show you the final picture of all of the flowers together, which is like that. But I quite like it. It's like that. So you could split it up and give them as little gifts, go into somebody's house, or little presents, and there you go. Lovely bunch of flowers that will last forever. But I really like this kit. When I saw it in Strasbourg being displayed, I was so excited for it coming. So here we are, all made. So it will take a bit of time because there's quite a lot. And the white flowers, I think there's about 8 of those. So, and they're the little ones. So let's get that in focus. So there's about 8 of those with the yellow middles and the beads. So I hope you like that. It's one of the newer kits that's come out. So have a look on the what's it called, internet, and you'll find them at stampinup.net. And that's me, Caroline's Creative Crafts. And don't forget, don't need to follow my instructions. Sarah's doing her own instructions and you can follow hers. But I had great fun making these. Yes, I got a bit sticky, but hey, that's all part of it. So it's 8 o'clock exactly. So I've got into my timeline as well. So that's a double whammy. Look, so love doing that. I'm looking forward to seeing you next month. I'm hoping Louise will now bring us all back and we can all say goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks ever so much, Caroline and Elizabeth, who I hope is also going to join us. It's been great fun this evening. I've really enjoyed these kits. Technology never works when you want it to, but well done for persevering. I certainly might have a go with those now, but I hate using a glue gun, so possibly not. But thanks very much. I'd love to see the final products posted, so look out for everybody on their posts, on their pages. And we'll be live again next month when I believe we're going to be showing you some interesting techniques that you may not have discovered. So from now, it's good night from me.
Good night from me.
Good night from
And
me.
we'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.